back here. It's the only problem with the flea thing that's annoying. Hey, a fresh amulet. That could be good. Alright, back to this dude. I know if I could hit you, that would be great, but it's a real risk if he turns around and hits me, I'll die. So if he can play with the Valkyrie... hold on. I need to put the decoy in there too. I'll get him from behind the Valkyrie and we'll get him dead that way. The anxiety of emptying a stoma bag in public toilets is not wanting to leave a mess on the toilet or space. Oh, hello, that's chainmail. Give me all of that. We'll go back and we'll get Eliza. What's it? Space in the cubicle being small enough to make it hard not to accidentally get some of it on me. That is also the worst thing I've found. I know that this does not plague anybody that doesn't have medical conditions, but they really need to stop making toilets smaller. Because, like, at least, like, obviously in ladies' toilets we have, like, you know, special bins and shit for us as well, right? And it all takes up a lot of space. And so, like, when you sit on the toilet, you basically feel like you're also kind of sitting on the bin. And, like, it's just fucking uncomfortable. And then you try to, like, get up and do anything. Like, if you were trying to, like, adjust your clothing or, you know, if you want to be able to walk into the toilet and not get hit by the toilet door while also not touching the toilet physically itself at the same time, like, there's no room. Because a lot of the time, like, as you try to open the door, I don't know if it's possibly just because, like, I've got huge tits. It could be that. But, like, I get hit by the door a lot when I'm trying to open the door. And I really don't want to be touched by a public toilet door, you know? So, yeah. I try to, like, discreetly, like, contort my body around the door without, like, coming in contact with the toilet bowl that's behind me. And, you know, yeah. It's really frustrating, especially as somebody that's, you know, got a condition that's going to put me in the toilet a fair bit and is also going to be problematic for hygiene purposes for, like, you know, the OCD hand washing and hygiene and shit in general. Like, it's all very fucking challenging. I could keep something that gives me fire damage. I could keep it for fire resistance. It's just that I don't have a shield and I'm probably not going to get a shield for a while. I know the other one that I kept, the poison one, also is for shields, but, like, I could try to keep it and try to use it once we get, like, I'm thinking long game. I'm thinking, like, when we get into Act 5 type stuff, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I kind of want to stop holding on to a lot of stuff in my inventory, but I don't have room for anything. What else? Anxiety. No, I read that. Oh, the oops for dying. It happens. It happens every so often. As I said, I legit just, I don't care if I happen to die in game. Like, it's gonna happen. It happens pretty often. And I'm just, my only thing is when I die, I lose a bit of money and XP, and I also lose Eliza. That's realistically my only beef with dying. Like, the rest of it, I just don't give a shit. But the XP, I'd like to get a level. That would be really, really nice. But I'm not, like, expecting to get a level anytime soon. I don't remember if we still have Boxing Day sales. It's definitely is a thing, but not as big as it used to be. January sales too. Yeah, our Boxing Day sales are pretty huge here. They're akin to the whole, they're akin to the, Black Friday sales, which is why that goes, holy shit. We'll come back to that. Which is why, like, I always forget about Boxing Day, right? Because, like, I'm never really fully aware of when it is. Oh, sorry, not Boxing Day, the Black Friday sales. I'm never really fully aware of when, like, Black Friday is in November. Like, I know that it's a thing, but I can never really place when it is. I always think it's the 18th. And, then, like, by the time the 28th comes around, I usually, or 29th or whatever, when we get that, it's normally not a time when I have, like, available money to get something. Now, I'm also find out by, like, Cyber Monday that it's on and that I've missed Black Friday sales. But, like, because Boxing Day sales are kind of as big here, it's just that they're usually in person. if you want like a decent deal in Australia, you kind of got to get it in person on Boxing Day. I mean, they do still have stuff online, but it just never seems to be quite as good as what you can get in a store, which is fine. I don't really mind. But yeah, I need like mana and stuff. I've got a decoy in there, and my Valkyrie's busy around the corner, so this should be fine. We just got 2 champion bone mages in here. The movie is hard to rate. The pacing of it can be drag at times, and then there's some really fucking funny parts. Rewatching the memes are popular for a reason. See, I am well aware of the whole train drifting thing because I've seen the meme of like the Tokyo Drift music for that scene, and I'm aware that Tom Hanks like voices the conductor guy, I think, because or you know, the guy on the train basically. Like, I'm aware of that, which is more than I can say for like most movies that I haven't watched, right? But like the rest of it I don't really know. Like, I know that there's basically, I think a kid falls asleep or wakes up in like the thing and it goes and does a thing on a train. That's kind of my concept of it. Stop hitting me with fire. I want to know how I can get into this guy. I guess I can go around this way and get him directly. And there's something else around the other corner I've got to worry about, apparently. Can you play the decoy there? That is not the decoy. This'll do. Alright, if I just hang back in the corner, we should be kind of safe from that. It's a very uncomfortable feeling, like being turned into a sardine when go to the bathroom. No, he's outside now. It is like that. You have determined where the good ones and places need to use regularly. I gotta admit, anybody that's got a chronic like health condition that like requires bathrooms and stuff definitely knows where the toilets are, knows where the good ones are, because like I have that too. Like in my local shopping centre there's probably like 5 or 6 sets of toilets throughout like the shopping centre, and a lot of them are really just shit, especially the ones nearest the food court are gnarly. And like they are extremely last, like if I'm in proximity and I need something urgently, I will use it. I know I can't get that far, right? But like at the same time I would not choose that as a preference, you know. And yeah, I kind of hate that because it's like, the other thing too is my local shops, a lot of them have the push button timed water thing, and at one point they turned down so it only sprays for like a couple of seconds. Like you push it and it stops. Like you basically would have to hold it on to get water out of it, which is bullshit because like you're trying to wash your fucking hands. Like yeah, you can do shit one-handed, but it's not going to be as good, right? So like I've worked out like workarounds for that shit too, where like I normally just like suss out the bathroom when I'm going to it and like determine like, do I need to like bring a tissue or something to be able to hold the toilet, the fucking water on or something like that. Like, you know, what's the go in these facilities and stuff. Eliza just one hit died then. I'm a bit fucking worried about this group because like they wiped out Eliza and they wiped out my Valkyrie just like that. I don't know if there's a shaman, but like I think there's 2 special groups in here. I think I could get you lot from here, this angle. Yeah, I can get you from here. This works a little bit until they turn around and use like fire or ice on me. Then I'm basically fucked. But like this fire dog down here, foul dog, sorry, it's working. There we go. All right, he's gone. But yeah, the importance of like a good bathroom. It's one thing to say, oh, this place has bathrooms, but it's like, are they clean? Do they have soap? Do they have accessible running water that I can actually use while I'm washing my hands? Or am I going to like need to have special extra equipment to fuck around with the taps and stuff, you know? And are the toilet stalls going to be big enough to step around and close the door behind without like sitting on the actual toilet in the process? Oh god, this is not a clear area and I am poisoned. We need to go home. There we go. And get myself some health. Holy shit.
Yes.
That was an issue. I'm bringing her back in. I know this is like 4th or 5th time. I'm gonna get a bit of water too, honestly. Hold on. It's a very uncomfortable feeling. Like, oh yeah, I read that. Before Black Friday went international, Boxing Day sales were huge. Yeah. To not crush people through the door huge, but many people would do their shopping. Then lots of underlined stuff that didn't sell well discontinued, discounted a tiny bit. So in Australia, the kind of like Boxing Day sales that we used to have back when they sort of started, which were like ludicrous to see, like the people were just lining up for it, it was insane, was that they used to have everything that was brought into shops for Christmas put on sale. And it was like a massive clearance sort of thing, so that basically like the store could clear out all of their Christmas gear, so that then they could kind of like put out anything that was for New Year's and stuff, and then, you know, start working towards like the next year of stock, so that they didn't have to store the inventory year to year, right? That was kind of the point. So if you wanted to get like a cheap Christmas tree and a bunch of like a fuck ton of lights to decorate your house or whatever, right, it was kind of the time to do it, was around the Boxing Day sales, when they'd just be clearing out everything. But like they also started doing like additional sales where like you could get some stuff slightly cheaper
Good to see you.
than it was for Christmas and stuff. So like, you know, some people started feeling like really ripped off with that, because like they didn't know that Boxing Day sales were a thing, and so they'd buy it for Christmas. And so what started happening is they started having like all these huge returns happening on Boxing Day, where people would buy something on before or for Christmas, and then they'd come back on, oh, that's kind of good, it looks nice, it looks really pretty actually. So they come back on Boxing Day and they try to return it. Oops, wrong button. So they'd like try to return all these like Christmas gifts. Like they get the receipts off their family and friends and all sorts of stuff. And then like the line for returns on Boxing Day was just stupid. And so I don't know what happened with that, but the returns kind of stopped. Like word of mouth for the big sales and stuff got more popular. And so less people seem to make a poor decision of like purchasing something before Christmas. And if they really wanted something, they'd wait till the Boxing Day sales and they'd just get whatever it was that they kind of wanted but didn't really need in that moment. They'd get it for Christmas kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of like the evolution of it here. So bathrooms are shit. Bathrooms are shit. Actually, what I was going to say before was that here, let me go back out through this room. I don't know how, oh, that's right, down there's bad. Yeah, I remember now. I don't know where Eliza is. There she is. So, like, we have in most, like, large shopping center bathrooms or large service station bathrooms is usually one disabled person's sink. And obviously a disabled toilet within, like, you know, the bathroom and stuff. It's not like a standalone disability or ableist kind of toilet. There can be one of those in it. Because I've got like back and hip and neck and all sorts of issues, and my Crohn's can sometimes make me really sick to the point where like I am physically weak and could faint and stuff. I don't mind using the accessibility toilet, not the disability one, the accessibility one that has like handrails and shit to like assist with like standing up and stuff, so I can balance myself if I need to. Those are always nice. They're also always a little bit bigger because they've got to account for the railings and stuff. They usually always have toilet paper as well, which is nice because not everywhere does. And because those particular bathrooms will always have a disability sink present, they're really good because they're normally taps that actually you can like flip up and flip off and turn on, turn off kind of thing, right? So if you need to spend a little bit of extra time washing hands, aka somebody with OCD, hand washing, I can use one of those. They're usually lower down though, so obviously like I have to like basically snap my body in half to kind of use them. But like at the same time, I have no problem with that because as long as nobody else requires that at that time, if somebody's using the disability stall, right, I will not touch the disability sink, because I know that they will want to use that when they come out of the bathroom and stuff. But like if nobody's in there, if nobody's using it, I will use the sink that will stay on, and that way I can freely like wash my hands and stuff as I need to. But yeah, the ability ones, like I think they're technically mobility bathrooms. I don't know if that's the right word for them, but they are really good because obviously, like I said, they've got the handrail and stuff and a little bit more space. And the door opens outwards instead of inwards, which is also a really nice thing. Because in Australia there's a fire code regulation thing that basically for some reason all doors open into the room, not outwards. So these accessibility toilets, they open the opposite way. Ironically, the disability toilets do not. The disability toilets open the exact same way as like a regular stall, which always confuses me, but I guess like if you're trying to get into a room, it might be easier to, like if you're wheelchair or whatever, it might be easier to sort of roll forwards and push into the door, I guess. But then the other ones I think are mostly designed for like people that have got walking cane situations, you know. What was it? Those evil taps. Oh man, the taps. I have a lot to say about taps. Do you have those things where it's like 3-in-1 automatic machine where they don't have to move your hands and the soap, water and dry, because those things are so fucking stingy with the water. You accidentally move your hands too far, the dryer stops way too early. Okay, so we have something similar to that that's just starting to come in most like public toilets and stuff, depending on like if the place wants them or not. And what it is it doesn't dispense soap, right? You still have like a dispenser on the wall kind of thing. Most of them are kind of automatic now, and they are one of those things where they won't repeatedly trigger. So as a OCD hand washer, when I want fucking soap to wash my hands, I have to kind of like move along the line and like use like a few different ones at a time, and then go to my sink and then start washing my hands and stuff, right? But the thing is, like, the taps themselves, the ones that have the dryer and the automated sensor. So the automated sensor I've got no problem with because obviously I don't have to touch anything, right? And they generally will keep moving. They will keep activating as long as you can keep triggering it and stuff. And if they get to a point where they stop, you can just move to the next sink and it's no fucking problem. The ones that have the fucking dryer blaster things that, like, basically just throw all the nasty sink water up onto your hands as you're trying to fucking wash them, because, you know, it's determined that you've moved slightly sideways in the process of washing your hands. So now you must need them to be dried, and it's like, oh my fucking god, just stop, right? It's, those ones are annoying. I am not too bad with them. I'm pretty good, but I am extremely wary of them because a lot of the time, them and the flat top sink basins, you know, the ones where it's not really a basin, it's just a bench and it has like the automated nozzles, they normally spray too hard too fast, and what happens is the sink contents like ends up being sprayed up onto my clothing or onto me, and I don't like that. Like, for obvious like hygiene reasons, I don't want everybody else's like sink business up on my clothing and stuff, so I'm generally pretty wary of that. However, I also am like remarkably flexible, so considering like all my injuries and stuff, so I usually just like contort my body in a way where my arms are at like the maximum length from like probably my pivoted like pelvis part. So like just imagine like a really super exaggerated like ass back, arms forwards, and that's how I approach those things, because I'm not taking chances, especially if I'm gonna be like wearing the same outfit for like 8 hours or something like that at some place where I'm expected to like be normal or something like that, you know. Like, I'm just not going to take that risk. My mental comfort is just as important to me as physical comfort in that case, you know. God, there's so many in here. What else on this? I have a sober bag, it was full. It had the same problem you mentioned, smacking into everything. This wasn't automatically hard for me, but still scary because I'd worry about making it leak. Yeah, that is a concern though, but yeah, generally speaking, like, I can kind of like pull my body back out of the way for stuff. Like, if I kind of like can figure it out or spot it beforehand, it's not as bad, or if I'm aware of it, it's not as bad. I just hate accidentally having like a toilet door like fling into like my chest or something like that when I'm like gonna be out somewhere for a while or whatever. It just like ruins my whole fucking day, you know. You guys played like the decoy for a bit. That's not the decoy. Hold on. There you go, there's the decoy. They've heard for like a hot minute. Eliza and I will like deal with this backlog here. Nowadays, the big retailers include a big receipt with text that reminds you to include the receipt in the gift you're buying before Christmas. Probably encourage returns. Yeah, they do that. Returns so that people will look at the massive sales. Oh. Well, the other thing too is if you're buying a gift for somebody for Christmas, you really should buy it on its own separate receipt. By the way, I hit 3 health potions and I still died. It's just not health potioning tonight, apparently. But yeah, if you're ever getting somebody gifts, like, get individual receipts. Like, I know it sucks, it, like, chalks up the line and shit, but, like, at least then you don't have, like, every fucking thing that you purchased on that entire list, you know? Now, I'm not sure how hard this is going to be to get in where I'm going, but we'll see, I guess. What else? The ones in the hospital are enormous. It feels like walking into a hotel room. Not a bathroom. I use them a lot when I had my stoma, but again, usually only bathrooms are full. Yeah, the hospital bathrooms are amazing because they're super big, but at the same time, like, let's get around the corner here. At the same time, they are designed for like all accessibility, so it's not even a matter of like, you know, a lot of them like standalone, or at least in like Australia, a lot of individual hospital bathrooms are like standalone, singular.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty good with that. The only problem is obviously because they are only singular and stuff, they can often be like busy. And obviously if you have any kind of medical conditions and stuff, like I remember running between 3 separate hospital toilets on different floors of the hospital because I knew where they all were, right? And I urgently needed the toilet. I was at the hospital for a fucking colonoscopy. I think anybody that's ever had one of those will fucking understand what I mean by it was urgent and necessary that I get to a toilet. And yeah, I found one eventually. I ended up just using the men's toilets because I'm like, I'd run between 3 different floors, 3 different sets of toilets. They were all busy and I couldn't fucking wait. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck what gender is on this door. I need this. And if a fellow needs it, okay, but like he can wait a minute. I'm sure the doctors in this hospital will understand if it's a doctor or something like that, right? And yeah, the funniest thing was, like, obviously a guy was waiting for the toilet, and obviously when I came out, I'm very fucking obviously female, and it was just one of those like side eyes, and I'm like, I just like had a moment where I'm like, I kind of want to play with this, but I'm gonna leave it alone and just keep walking, because I'm like, it could have been funnier than it was. It was still pretty funny though, because like I know he was confused, but yeah, I don't know, it was fun. What else? What else I miss here? So probably if you get stuck inside the toilets, it's easier for help to get in by kicking the door inward. Yeah, in Australia there's a fire code thing that basically, like, because like doors open out into like hallways and stuff like that, it can block the passage to an area to like rescue somebody. It's something along those lines. I don't know what it is word for word, but I know it's something along that kind of thing. So yeah, it is a safety concern type thing. But I know in Australia, like a lot of the toilets we have are basically like there's usually a massive gap underneath, a massive gap above, usually a big enough gap to the side that you could put a crowbar in if you needed to. And yeah, you can normally just stare at people while you're going to the toilet, like while you're on the toilet and stuff. You can stare at the people waiting for the bathroom and stuff because it's just that kind of like visible. But Jesus, that's how I must have died before, was the 2 fire mages. But yeah, I don't know. I've literally seen I've seen situations before where somebody is passed out in a bathroom and like an employee has had to crawl underneath the door to unlock the door to rescue the person. I know that that's why it is that way, but the way that toilets are nowadays, there's really no room for an employee to actually crawl without basically climbing over the person and a toilet in the process. But yeah, it kind of sucks that that's that way because, like, you know, all kinds of people got to be able to fit in and use a toilet and stuff, and I just feel like the people that are designing it are thinking about the square footage that they can get. They can squeeze one whole extra toilet in if they just basically put the walls up against the actual toilet itself. And that's what it feels like has happened. And it's just really fucking uncomfortable because like, I can't imagine if you have claustrophobia and you were trying to use the toilet, right? It would be so uncomfortable psychologically to deal with that, like beyond like all the other things that like, you know, chronic health conditions and OCD kind of like deals with and stuff. So I love the idea that, was it the soap carousel? Oh, so talking about a fucking soap carousel, right? So I've gone to 2 separate locations that have had a sink fountain in the center of the bathroom. One was in like one of the first nightclubs I ever saw because like I just didn't go clubbing, right? So I'm like, you know, whatever. And then this other one was at a RSL, which is like a sports club kind of thing. Not like a sports bar, but kind of like it's a restaurant and also is like a local sporting community's like home ground type thing. I don't know how best to describe it outside of Australia, but that's kind of what it is, right? Oh, fuck no. And yeah, I went in and I'm like, there's a full ass fucking fountain right in the center, and obviously it's a sensor one where you trigger it to activate the water. It looks a lot like a bird bath kind of thing in the sink basin-y side of it, except that the water only flows when triggered. And obviously there was like soap pumps and stuff above it in the center and whatever. And I'm just like, this is just wild to me. Because obviously, like, it just looks like you're, like, washing hands in a bird bath, except it's not, like, constant flowing water, so you know at least it's drawing fresh water and stuff. But, like, yeah, that was insane. Some fancy-ass bathrooms. I thought that it only existed in the nightclub because of, like, that one place I saw it beforehand was a club. But when I saw it again in, like, a regular kind of normal-looking RSL, I'm like, what the fuck is this? I don't think I've gone... No, I've gone through there. I'm nearly like back around. It's probably down in this corner. It's probably all the way down there. But it's fine. I think Eliza might be stuck somewhere. Or my Valkyrie is stuck. I think my Valkyrie's stuck. Hold on. There we go. Now she ain't stuck. In bathrooms they have a setup here that's usually one dryer per 2 hand washer areas, and the dryer is significantly separated by distance, so it's impossible to activate the accident and create the exact issue. The other thing too is, like, we have like a variety of different dryers. You can have anything from a push button one on the wall to like a motion activated one. You can have them connected to the hand washing tap itself, as in like you move your hand sideways and it's gonna like spray on you kind of thing. We have the ones where you put your hands into it and it sprays fucking everything everywhere and it's awful. I never use them because like I can't guarantee it's not going to splash me with something else that's already in there that's just like dripping back down from the previous person, so I just don't use them. But there's a whole variety of different ones. Stormhold, Demon, Curse, Enchanted, Magic Resistant, Mana Burn, Immune to Fire, Immune to Cold. This guy's going to be a lot of work. I love how Eliza's like quarantined herself. She's so good. Let me just put the decoy behind you. Somebody in the room just absolutely wiped it then. Well, yeah, the gas they inflate. Was it they inflate you with does not sit nicely for long? Oh no, I'm talking about like the beforehand situation. I'm talking about, you know, the bowel prep medicine stuff. Because my Crohn's doesn't like process stuff very well, so I get extra prep. So I don't get just like the standard like, you know, 6 hours of hell leading up to it, and then like the whole inflation and camera and all that horrible stuff. I get, I think, 8 to 12 hours of prep, because I basically start at like kind of about the time that I would start the thing plus several hours or whatever. I don't know, it's horrible, but next time somebody wants to give me that prep stuff, I kind of want to start at 2 hours earlier than when they say